Guild Boss 4, day number 3. Welcome back to another Bit Legend video, fellas. This is the first week of the released Guild Boss. We are still on Guild Boss number 4, and we're just going to battle through this one. But the main reason I want to do this video, because it's going to be very similar to the last one, is I want to talk about all the changes that have been proposed, if I can say that, proposed, to Guild Boss for week number 2. So we'll talk about that. I'll do some battles. We'll have plenty to talk about during the 3-minute lockout period, so it's all good. Take the DPS meter that you saw with a grain of salt, just because you don't know if those players have done their attack for today, or maybe they'll do it later tonight. So don't really worry about that. It's not really, the rankings aren't that important. But the reason why I'm showing you that is kind of give you guys a ballpark of what's going on. I'm of course a tank, so I'm going to do very low damage. Now the first thing you saw there was the shielding skill. The shielding skill is most likely going to be removed. This boss has 2 shielding skills. And then you also saw his attack randoms. I don't know if the attack random is going to be changed at all. Let me get the volume down just a little bit, like always. What is this one? Attack random. Let's do that before he dies. So the boss shielding skill is going to go away. The boss has an attack all skill that is going to be tuned down a little bit. They don't want the attack all skill to be completely one-shotting teams, whether you're a tank and you lose all your minions, or whether you're a DPS player and you just lose everybody. So they're going to tune that down. It is possible that the health of the boss is going to be tuned down as well. I have not heard of any changes for the drops, whether it's going to be increase, decrease, whatnot. I did propose an idea I'm calling my whack-a-mole strategy, where a guild could respawn a boss after killing it. That way, if you can't kill boss 4, at least your guild can respawn the other bosses and you can farm gear. So, and I think that's probably a reason why the loot is not getting changed, or it hasn't been announced for change, because if you can respawn the bosses, you can farm a lot more bosses. So it is very likely that Guild Boss 2 and 3, I don't know if it was 1, but at least 2 and 3 are probably going to be tuned up. They are too easy right now. And then Guild Boss 4, like I said, is going to be tuned down. So while we're waiting, I will try to skim through some of these comments. It's always difficult to read while I'm recording, but let's see. So a couple things. So one of the updates is right now you cannot kill, or you cannot kick someone from your guild if there is loot in the auction window. They're going to allow it so that you can kick someone from your guild if they have been offline for 48 hours. So if they're AFK, you can kick them. This is an improvement. I know a lot of guild leaders have talked to me, and they said they want to be able to kick freely. I understand the reservation that the dev would have. They don't want, good loot to drop, and then some tyrant guild leader kicks everybody out, and they have the loot for themselves. Obviously, you don't want that in your community, and you want to make a system that avoids that, so the opportunity for something nasty like that is not there. So I understand it, but let me know how you feel. Is the 48 hours, is it too much? Is it not enough? Let's see what else I can find while we are in this lockout period. So yeah, Guild Boss of number 3 and number 4 will be altered, like I told you guys. The performance of Guild Boss 3 and 4 were not what the devs expected. And it's kind of funny because they've used our characters specifically. They used players, top players, not just Unity, but a lot of Unity players are top players in battling these bosses. But the live performance is typically different from what you test on a test server, so I totally get it. The shield skill of boss will be removed, and they're gonna change it to an attack that hits the front too. So most likely the strategy to fight this boss is gonna be 2 tanks in the front and then 3 DPS in the back. I know a lot of DPS players are running all tanks in every slot, but I said the AoE skill, the attack all skill, is gonna be tuned down a little bit. What else can I find? Yeah, the AoE skill is gonna be greatly reduced. The health value of the boss is going to be reduced. So that's in addition to the shielding being removed. Honestly, I think it's possible for Unity to kill the boss if the shields are removed. We're day 3, or the morning of day 3 right now, and we're already almost down 10%. If you remove the shields, we might be down like 20%. So we would be close to killing it, maybe, maybe not. Again, this week started on day 5, so we did miss out 2 days of attacks. I have suggested to the dev to give all players 6 more attacks to make up for the 2 days that are missed, but that might be a significant development hurdle that might cause some issues. Devs really don't like to throw in hot fixes without testing it and without going through a process, and I completely get that. Plus, even with the 2 extra days, I don't think that Unity would kill Boss 4. However, the reason why I suggest it is because there's probably a lot of smaller guilds out there that are really close to finishing Guild Boss 2 and Guild Boss 3, and I think those 6 extra attacks for every member could be helpful. So here we go, timer's down, let's jump back in. This is battle number 2. We're going to basically do the same thing. If you guys don't like my monster team or you think I should run something else, feel free to criticize. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Just put some thought behind it. I kind of think that my team's probably going to get smoked anyways, and it's just kind of whatever. I'm showing up and hitting the pinata, giving you guys some content to look at. But that is the attack skill. It's not too bad unless it crits, but it does crit often, and I was already kind of soft in there. There's the shielding skill that I'm showing you guys. I'm going to shield myself, and we're going to kick it on autopilot while I skim through and find other things. So the dev says there are 2 plans to improve the guild boss, and we want to continue discussing these. Put the feedback. If you want to talk to me, you can talk in Discord and YouTube. If you want to talk to the devs, there is an Ask a Dev channel and a suggestion channel, so definitely be part of the conversation if you're interested. But there are 2 plans, and this kind of goes back to what I proposed. When the boss is defeated, all guild members will get an additional medal, which can buy powerful equipment in guild stores, roughly equivalent to the trophy of Boss 3. I think when they say trophy, they mean just the loot drop, so you can choose from the loot table in there. We don't know if it's going to be like you need 100 medallions to buy something or 1 medallion to buy something. That is yet to be seen. The main reason is that they don't want players who can't push too far. They want them to be successful. I'm kind of translating the English as I read, so you get it. Option number 2, after defeating the boss, the guild will get reset points, and the stronger the boss is, the higher the reset points will be. The guild president can then use reset points to reset status of all bosses. At this time, we need to attack the boss again to get more loot. Pretty straightforward. Let's go back so I can put up the lockout timer. And let's see, so the loot fall again, okay, yeah. Very new system with many problems. We believe it will take a matter of weeks to get it right. But again, this is an early access game. If you're playing now, it's because obviously you want to hang out with Gavix, but you want to help and guide the development of the game and test and have some fun. Let's jump back into Guild Boss. Kind of wish it wouldn't kick me out to the home screen, but that is the least of my problems at the moment. That pretty much wraps up what the devs have said so far. I know a lot of you DPS players are concerned about how crit and strike are interacting with each other ever since the 050 update. Initially, 050 accidentally made them not work together, which they should. They tried to fix it in 060, but the math isn't quite adding up. I'm not really paying attention to that too much. But the dev has made a clear statement that, number 1, the math will get worked out. They're still working on it, and player feedback is very valuable with this. Number 2, some players, because of these issues, feel like strike is not valuable. Part of that is because the bounty hunter is so strong with crit, and the other part of that is because of the math errors. Keep in mind the devs are committed to making strike valuable. And so just keep a lookout on it. Don't start scrapping things that have triple strike on them. You might want to consider saving them. They're not going to let just some bonus underperform. They're gonna tweak it, make it work. Also, there was an issue with the bounty hunter talent that gave SP when you crit. If you crit and strike at the same time, players were not getting SP. This is supposed to be fixed in the next update, or quote unquote soon. So that is something to look forward to. And I would say keep an eye on the talents. Like I said, a lot of people, they'll get a legendary accessory that has a lot of strike and they say, oh, I wanted crit, should I destroy this? I would say hold on, because keep an eye on talents, keep some of that strike gear. I do think that a build is going to emerge that makes strike just as valuable as crit. It just gives you a different option, and it makes strike equally valuable. So what else is there? The auction system, so I guess I'll show you my auction page. It leaves a lot to be desired. They are going to add it so that you can see the name of the most recent bidder. I don't remember if they officially said that you would be able to see like a log of who got what, because what if there's like 1 minute left in the 24-hour auction and old Gavi slips in there and bids at the last second? The guild will not be able to know what happened there. So like I said, they want a very strong community, and they don't want a system that would breed any sort of ninja looting toxicity. You want a system that completely avoids that, so you don't have to deal with it. So they're committed to doing that. That is an option. I have suggested a master loot type option, and what it would be is that at every week you would have a checkbox that the guild master could check. And if the box is checked, or if it's not checked, the guild master can't swap it around on you. That way, when you join a guild, you would understand, okay, this guild used master looting. If I don't like it, I'm not going to join that guild. If I do like it, I'll stay in. That'll give guilds more control, because the whole point of Guild Boss is to make the guild more united so that everybody has to work together so that you can achieve goals as a team. So you want abilities to help make that possible, and that's the idea. You need them tools. The other thing that I haven't mentioned yet, a Guild Boss number 5 has been mentioned. We don't know when it's going to come. I think they're going to try to work on these bosses and get them fixed up and ready before they add anything. However, we were kind of joking about it, but it ended up being an official announcement that Guild Boss 5 is coming. It is going to allow guildies to use their guild mates instead of their monsters. Not gonna lie, that was my suggestion. I'm very happy to see there's interest there. I think that some bosses should be your minions. I think that some bosses should be your guild mates. I think we can have the best of both worlds, and I think there's no reason why we couldn't do that. Also, of course, I'm a tank player, have that slight tank bias. This solidifies my spot and other tanks in their own guilds. Because what if right now your guild is so close to killing Guild Boss 3 or 4 or whatever you're working on, but you have like 5 tanks in the guild and they're all doing no damage? That guild might be incentivized to push those players into going a DPS build, or into removing those players and getting other DPS players. So those things can happen. And again, you want a system that supports a healthy guild, a healthy community. I totally understand that people want to kill bosses, but if you're not the top tank in your guild or the top 2 tanks in your guild, you're going to feel that pressure. So let's go look at the DPS meter. I do like all of these systems. I think the improvements are awesome. It can be frustrating at times, but I mean, you've got a dev that's listening to feedback, and they're obviously working on what they're talking about. So take a look at these. Again, remember, some people might have used their attack for today. Some people might not have used their attack for the day, so don't really pay attention too much on who's doing how much damage. But let's take a scroll on through. So again, this is day number 3. I really wish there was a way to see how many attacks players in the guild have used. Maybe you have a player that's not doing all their attacks, or I want to know how many attacks they got on this boss kind of thing, so we can do some numbers and monitor that. But take a look on through. And then here, I'm a tank, so I've done my attacks for today. Awuki's also a tank. He may or may not have done his attacks for the day. We're pretty much interchangeable. We got the same level of gear, same bonuses, pretty close total stats, so we're very comparable. Easy is also a tank. I think Easy was at 6-6 yesterday, so he might not have done his attacks. And then we have some healers, and we have a mix of gear levels and whatnot. But as you can see in my guild, only 29 people out of 30 have attacked this boss. So Smoking's in here, but I would have to physically go and look and match all the names to see who has not attacked the boss as well. So we need more tools to monitor this, to pay attention to it. My guild uses Discord, but it's not fair to expect every single player in the game and every single guild in the game to have some extra program that helps monitor. There should be some kind of like baseline tools here. So if you have good suggestions or good ideas or anything like that, feel free, or read other people's suggestions and give them thumbs up, thumbs down. That's the thing. Well, there you go. So we got 3 legendaries and a mythic item. My guild actually still doesn't know who got the mythic item. Now, it's not a very desired item, so we don't really care, but that goes back to the idea of we want to be able to know who got the loot. You know, how do we track it? How do we monitor it? And we want a system that helps us do that. And I know a lot of you guys like to watch my YouTube videos, but you don't want to have to deal with Discord. I get that. So I want you to have tools that'll help you. So anyways, I'll wrap the video up. If you guys have any comments, thoughts, suggestions, whatnot, feel free hitting me up. Let's communicate. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.